A family bound, our hearts together. We laugh, we cry, through thick and thin. In every challenge, we begin again. Truth Seekers 88, our home filled with love and light, sharing dreams in day and night. On the truth train we ride as one, helping each other, everyone. We talk of the truths of our ancient lands. Together we stand, hand in hand. In our disagreements, we find a way to grow, to learn each passing day. Truth Seekers 88, our home filled with love and light, sharing dreams in day and night. On the truth train we ride as one, helping each other, everyone. In every thought and every word, voices strong, our truths are heard. With open hearts, we stand as friends, a bond that never ends. Expressing thoughts, we find our peace. In unity, our spirits release. Helping others with all we know. In the light of truth we grow. Truth Seekers 88, our home filled with love and light, sharing dreams in day and night. On the truth train we ride as one, helping each other, everyone. So here's to Mike, the sheepdogs in us, our family. In seeking truth, we find our way, together stronger, every day.
Hey, welcome. I'm working on a .com. It's trying to establish a connection. Oh, man. I don't understand why everything's green. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so looks like I might have to redo truthsecret.com. Y'all bear with me just for 1 minute. Let me redo this. Because by all intents and purposes, it should be working.
Oh, okay. I found it in the sheepdog on that, what we were talking about earlier. How's everybody doing tonight?
Okay, good. Doing good.
I was talking to the chat.
Oh,
Hey, type 1 in the chat if your gas prices and your egg prices went down. Because Jesse Waters on Fox said everything went down. I don't know. I think he's full of shit. I think it's more propaganda from the Mockingbird Media military industrial complex arm of the deep state.
All right. All right. So we got it up and going now. Thank you guys. Y'all try and let me know when you can't hear me because my voice is fading in and out still. I will tell you that I feel way more better. Okay. With that being said, we're going to jump right in tonight. I'm so grateful to be here and be able to share with you guys. But saw Chief Pontiac sharing this around earlier today, and it's not a cause for an alarm. It is a definite, a definite add to the call that we've been talking about here at Truth Seekers as well. He shared this around and says, I'm still waiting for someone to actually get charged in all of this fraud, waste, and money laundering that's being splashed across the news every day. Where are the charges? There are no charges, because if they don't charge them, then it's clear that they're all in on it. And that is all just to show that it is all just a show. And if they can't charge them, then it's proof that the entire system is designed as one giant fraud, and they're all in on it. So where are the charges? Kind of absolutely. It is kind of it's right along with what we've been saying, especially Wednesday night when we jumped in. And it can sound like there's no hope when you talk about it like that. But there's all the hope in the world. It's just that's a call to action for us to start speaking up, and all of us saying, where are the charges? Okay, you're showing us the fraud. You're showing us the money laundering. You showed us the kids. What's happening to our kids? You showed us COVID. You showed us this. Where's the fucking Epstein list? Shit or get off the pot. We're about to pitchfork your ass. Excuse my language, but, here it is. It's our time. We got to stand up. That's the way I view that. Sheepdog is going to add to that here shortly, I'm sure. Then I saw this piece by George Carlin, somebody posted. I don't know. Sheepdog, can you read that from there? I don't know if I can read it.
Yeah. Let me enlarge my screen.
All right. Anyway, while he's doing that, George Carlin, this is George Carlin and his wife. All right. And it's really a good read. George Carlin wrote this piece that we're getting ready to read to you. Just let me know when you're ready, Sheepdog.
Yeah, can you make it all one big screen on that setting down there at the bottom? The one that brings it all the way across the screen. It takes us out. That one. You see it? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mike. This is from the Association for Students in Recovery. Something to ponder. George Carlin's wife died in early 2008, and George followed her, dying in July of 2008. It is ironic George Carlin, the comedian of the 70s and 80s, could write something so very eloquent and so very appropriate An observation by George Carlin. The paradox of our time in history is that we have taller buildings but shorter tempers, wider freeways but narrower viewpoints. We spend more but have less. We buy more but enjoy less. We have bigger houses, smaller families, more conveniences, but less time. We have more degrees, but less sense. More knowledge, but less judgment. More experts, yet more problems. More medicine, but less wellness. We drink too much, smoke too much, spend too recklessly, laugh too little. We drive too fast. We get too angry. Sometimes we stay up too late, get up too tired, read too little, watch TV way too much, and pray too seldom. We have multiplied our possessions but reduced our values. We talk too much, love too seldom, and hate too often. We learned how to make a living, but not a life. We added years to life, not life to years. We've been all the way to the moon and back, but have trouble crossing the street to meet a new neighbor. We conquered our outer space, but not our inner space. We've done larger things, but not better things. We cleaned up the air, but polluted the soil. We've conquered the atom, but not our prejudice. We write more, but learn less. We plan more, but accomplish less. We've learned to rush, but not to wait. We build more computers to hold more information, to produce more copies than ever, but we communicate less and less. These are the times of fast foods and slow digestion, big men and small character, steep profits and shallow relationships. These are the days of two incomes but more divorce, fancier houses but broken homes. These are the days of quick trips, disposable diapers, throwaway mortality, one-night stands, overweight bodies, and pills to do everything from cheer to quiet to kill. It is a time when there is much in the showroom window and nothing in the stockroom. A time when technology can bring this letter to you, and a time when you can choose either to share this insight or just hit the delete. Remember to spend some time with your loved ones because they are not going to be around forever. Remember, say a kind word to someone who looks up to you in awe, because that little person soon will grow up and leave your side. Remember to give a warm hug to the one next to you, because that is the only treasure you can give with your heart, and it doesn't cost a cent. Remember to say I love you to your partner and your loved ones, but most of all, mean it. A kiss and an embrace will mend hurt when it comes from deep inside of you. Remember to hold hands and cherish the moment, for someday that person will not be there again. Give time to love, give time to speak, and give time to share the precious thoughts in your mind. And always remember, life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by those moments that take our breath away. George Carlin.
That was really. Oh, go ahead, Miss Sheepdog.
I was just going to say that was awesome. Real eye-opening.
Absolutely. I started to read this earlier today when I found it. And I noticed it said we live in a paradox in our time in our history where we have taller buildings but shorter tempers, wider freeways but narrower viewpoints. And it really just struck a chord with me, considering how we started the show out tonight about, where are the damn charges at? It's time to pick up our pitchfork, but not to lay down the one that has the love attached to it either. It's the most important time. It's the most important currency, and it is the wisest and easily spent currency as well. With that being said, go ahead, Sheepdog.
Okay. Well, I'll add to that what you just said with this clip right here, and to what Rod said. What a lot of people are saying, really,
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
the people not caught up in the psyop between, but like you said, they all have to be on it if nobody gets charges. And that's what it seems like, especially when it comes to Epstein, Maxwell, and Diddy, and et cetera, et cetera. But here we go.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready for people to start going to jail for what they've done, or just shut up about it. Because every time I hear some shit that Doe just found, 100 billion here, 59 million here, billions here, millions here, and nobody gets fired, nobody goes to jail. All you doing by that is just pissing me off.
Maybe that's the purpose.
It's hard enough to pay taxes, but then I got to pay taxes after I hear this bull crap. I'm telling you, it's getting old, and it's getting old in a hurry. If you're not going to hold these people accountable, and you're not going to send these people to jail, then by God, quit telling me about it. Quit putting it on the news. I got to watch it. Quit tweeting it. If you're not going to do anything, then just shut the hell up about it. Don't make it worse by keep shoving this shit in our face.
He must be new because it's been going on for a while.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it's true, though.
We've been waiting, 4 or 5 plus years on this shit for some arrest. Yeah, he's just getting warmed up.
Yeah, not that we made up shit, but there's some evidence of things happening in the background, but that's just not answering the call anymore. I don't want to hear about shit happening in the background. I want to know what I have to do, say, or be a part of to stop these children from being harmed in the way they've been harmed our entire lives. I want to know who's accountable for all the murder that was done during COVID. Damn it, it's right in our faces that they murdered people with COVID. And ain't not one MFer been held accountable. They keep putting actors and actresses up in front of them. I guess while these other ones are hiding in their bunkers or they're at the spa. And guess what? It is a spa. It's not a prison. So with what George Carlin wrote and other leaders on the land right now calling it out, where are the charges? That's our cue, folks. Keep spreading love because we're doing good there. We're bringing back family that are close together. And we're setting aside our differences and saying, hey, we're going to have accountability or somebody's going to get pitched for it. Period. No more. It's not going to continue. Keep continuing. So I'm going to go ahead and let Sheepdog and them share, but my piece, Mrs. Sheepdog enlightened me today on some of her research with the blimps. Wait till y'all hear the story and the research behind the blimps. We're going to share in a few minutes, but I want to give my voice a little break and let Sheepdog jump in for a few minutes so I'm good and can share the story. All right? Go ahead, Sheepdog.
You want to go ahead and do that, Miss Sheepdog?
Or no, just go ahead first.
What's your piece? Where you want to start?
Well,
Because it's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah,
it's
is
good,
a lot.
It's so good.
It is really good.
Okay.
I'd love for everybody able to hear this message and be able to research it. She shared the piece from Defense Media Network, and then she shared an excerpt from it. The Overheaven, the Peace Force, PAX 4 is the Armed Services of the Unigov. That's the Earth Alliance, folks. Go ahead with Tesla's logo. Yeah, there you go. That's a good one right there.
Sheepdog, is this it?
So funny. So ugly.
Is this it?
Looks like it to me.
There you go, guys. You know, you're just watching a movie, you know. One of these is not like the other.
Right. That didn't even look like her at all.
Like the other. They said she has a Michael Jackson nose over here.
She does.
Yeah, she looked like her face got put on a pancake grill.
Look like Barbie came out. I swear this is for the Republican men to just stare at or something. I don't know. I don't get it. They got a lot of pretty faces, but shitty ass attitudes.
Yeah,
Right.
well, the other one's from her spring break.
Right.
All right, let's go. Let's do the blimps. Man. Oh, there we
There's
go.
like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, send me the ones you want me to read or the ones that you need to look at. Or pull them up. Let's go. Let's get it going. I don't know what you want to do here. You the one that
It's right there.
this one?
No, that's a simulated one, but that's
March 2000. That's March 2002. Holy shit. Yeah.
the battleships. Yeah.
Yeah, keep in mind if they're 50 to 60, 70 years ahead of us, then yeah, they definitely have shit that you have not even seen yet. Imagine a car that's not even invented yet that's 70 years ahead. Guess what that would look like? Pretty futuristic. So that's what they're pretty much doing. And
Yeah, if you go up, you'll see that they used the blimps during World War I and World War II that no one knew about right there.
all right.
So we keep hearing about. Okay. And remember, me and Sheepdog and I did a deep dive on the Lindenberg back in 2019 and 2020, or early 2020. So we knew there was a reason why. We just couldn't find all of it. And Miss Sheepdog found the rest of it. Here it is.
Yeah, they're called airships. And those are the older ones. That was like in 1942. But you should see the ones now. And I sent you that too. But these at the time were only went 58 miles per hour. But it was also that one right there is from Tartaria. So it's not nothing new. Just they haven't. Well, when I was little, you could see the Goodyear blimps up there.
Yeah,
They
that's
had,
the launch tower.
Mm-hmm. But that was it. But they have a whole crew up there that's part of the military, the Navy and the Marines.
The Earth Alliance military, folks. The Universal military.
Yes.
All right.
And I sent you all the divisions of the military. It tells all the ones that are up there.
Yeah. And because we got this, you started on this because of this video right here is Starlink and airship, right?
Right. So I went and looked at the Tartaria stuff, and then that's when I came across the military. Well, actually, I typed in military airships, and that's when I found all that. Yep.
Yeah, because they can cloak.
Yeah, they can cloak them. If you go down a little more, keep going. That right there. That was that's the newer ones. It kind of looks like a submarine because it's when you go way up there by the firmament, it's real dense like water. It's almost like water. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those rocket launches or whatever the hell those launches are may not even be launches, but you see it ripple right up there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played that video. Remember, you show it. It shows the ripples up there. There's water up there. I don't know if it's actually water, but it's similar to water. It's real dense.
Well, this video here, he recorded it without the audio.
Yeah, but basically, he's saying Starlink is airships.
With this. Let me see where the cloaking part is. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, he forgot to turn on the volume or something. Towards the end, he plays it.
Oh, the cloaking?
No, I mean his sound. But the cloaking part's also in the military documents. If you go to the military.com, under the airships, it has all the information. That's where I found all the departments.
Yeah, I learned about this cloaking stuff about 10 years ago right here. I wonder if this CC comes on. No? See how you can stand behind that and not see yourself, but it maintains the...
Yes.
All right, watch. Visibility cloaks. It's like a piece of real thin material. They even make them like that. It bends the light around you. See that? You can't see the person. So if that's flying above you,
can't see it.
Yeah, can't see it.
Yep, and they used them during World War I and World War II to do different things, and no one even knew about it.
Yeah, they even tested dropping atom bombs with them.
Yep.
Yeah, they can cloak over land and everything with those things. And now they travel like plasma.
Yes, and they have huge ones. They call them like great big ships, huge. Kind of like reminds me of Star Wars, right?
Yeah,
but yeah, they have massive ones.
50 miles off the ground and the size of a table. Yet you can't see a plane the size of a football field, only 6 miles off the ground. Come on, use this, guys. And as always, this is all for entertainment.
And the volume finally comes on at the end of the show. But anyways, so they brought us to this. All right, return of the military airship. This was in 2010, this article. So you can only imagine what they got, 15, 20 years later. But again, they're 50 to 60, 70 plus years ahead of us on the technology.
Yeah, they're like 2 miles. They're like 2 miles. Some of them are 2 miles long.
Yep. And then this is a different ones. They call it Army Special Operations Command, ARMSPEC, Space Command, Space Comm, Space Fleet, Starfighter Corps, Space Marines, Orbital Guard, Maritime Command, Maricom, Maritime Fleet, and Sea Fighter Corps. It's called Over Heaven. The Peace Force is the armed service of the Uni government, and is divided into Universal Army and Universal Navy, which in turn are divided into 10 branches, which in turn have their own specialized branches. The Airborne Corps is essentially Air Comm's answer to the Infantry Corps. This branch of the peace forces, paratroopers, and drop-capable vehicles, panzer bods, and exosuits, as well as flight-packed equipment specialists. In addition to the airborne corps, is tasked with garrisoning troops on the gas giants and providing security details at aircom installations and effectively serving as Marines aboard airships. The airship corps forms an important cornerstone of aircom. Colossal helium-filled ships serve as flying carriers and bases for aircom's fleets of aircraft and serves as battleships in the context of cloud colonies. And if you thought the bomber planes of 2285 were big, those birds got nothing on these blimps.
Back it up one more. Go back up to that last picture.
Yeah, these you see at the border right here.
Yep. Those you see at the border. See this funnel right here? This funnel of light? That is a cloak. That is a cloak extended all the way down to Earth.
Yep.
Okay. All right. These other beams are their atmospheric pressure, where they move the gases around to cause the effect that they're looking for as they enter the Earth plane, with the Garricks and the gunmans and all that they're adding to the soil, without the enemy even seeing them. And like Sheepdog said, these are the ones you see at the border.
Yeah, right here.
Yep. These are actually responsible for a lot of the people that you've seen crossing the border, because they can do CGI from these things from way up there. That's with the Civil Air Militia. That one you seen there, right here. This is all Civil Air Militia right here. She said we had the Army Special Operations Command, ARMSPEC, right? Army Support Command, which is armed support. Universal Navy, Space Command or Spacecom, Space Fleet, Starfighter Corps, Space Marines, Orbital Guard, Maritime Command, Maritime Fleet, Sea Fighter Corps, Maritime Marines, and Coast Guard. We told y'all we didn't know why at the time. I'll explain it again in just a second, okay? We told y'all, but we didn't know why at the time. But when we talked about the different branches of the military, we really had a large piece to add about the Coast Guard, and we couldn't find anything in the Confederacy papers that told us that was the Coast Guard was important. But later on, we found it. Well, here it is. Right here, the Coast Guard is important because as above, so below. All right, maritime is water, right? Right. You see how things are coming into alignment. You know, we've been dealing solely with the military-industrial complex. We have not seen these people that we're talking about now in this military. Okay, and they're getting ready to show their heads. And folks, I will just about guarantee you, when these airlanders fill the sky here when it's time, I'm suspecting they do this after Project Bluebeam, that you'll know NESARA is in full effect, because that's where it's going to start from these ships, these airspace ships. Go ahead, Miss Sheepdog. I didn't mean to take over. I'm just really excited about this because this is a missing piece. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Y'all keep going. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. All right. Play. Here's the airship right here. This 2016.
Okay, it says the space fleet describes the Universal Navy's armada as spacefaring carriers, frigates, corvettes, destroyers, and cruisers. The space fleet exists primarily to combat pirates and terrorists in the void. So there's a void up there. Though in recent years has seen much of general buildup. The Starfighter Corps, despite the name, actually spans Spacecom's fleet of fighters. Heavy fighters, interceptors, long-range patrol fighters, bombers, and Eva Max. Yes, big space mechas. While some of these Starfighter Corps craft are Atmo capable, most are not, and those which are commonly experience friction with the orbital guard and the Army Fighters Corps. The Space Marines or Space Command's infantry force tasked with boarding operations, EVA assaults, and rapid orbital intersections in support of ground forces. In addition to infantry, the Space Marines make extensive use of exosuits, compact IFBs, and specialized panzer bonds. SM boarding parties have a thing for sonic shotguns and curiously edged and blunt weapons, tontos and tomahawks being especially common. Boarding a ship or habitat. The orbital guard is tasked with guarding and defending orbital habitats, conducting search and rescue operations in orbit, anti-piracy, anti-smuggling, anti-terrorist activities, and as well as assisting with private sector operations in mitigating and consulting concern of Kessler debris. The Orbeez have ships that aren't as good as the space fleet, nor troops as good as the Space Marines, and so are mocked by both branches of Spacecom. Though in response, the Orbital Guard tends to take its time with whatever paperwork the fleet or Marines want to get done, and are very professional about their jurisdiction. Unlike most branches of the PAX-4, the grunts and officers of the Orbital Guard are on the same page of the bureaucrats. As their bureaucrats, the OG are also responsible for providing security and rapid response counterterrorism ops for space elevators, launch loops, and skyhooks.
All right. Excuse me.
We're working on finding out what they're filled with. And the Hindenburg caught fire because they hadn't fully reverse engineered the atmospheric pressure. So when the Hindenburg accidentally hit the stadium, there was a mix of gases there that caused the fire to start. So they have obviously conquered that now, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I believe these are filled with it says with a hybrid, we don't have the same amount of helium lift as the weight of the system. Perhaps 10 to 20% is aerodynamic. So when you slow down, the vehicle descends. As a result, you don't have to release helium, which is a logistics nightmare. Helium is not really a lifting gas here, but a structural element designed to keep air out. The lift is actually a lack of air rather than a presence of helium. While the LTA vehicles have been, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
While the LTA vehicles have been around for more than a century in one form or another, and the only change in lifting gas has been from volatile hydrogen to inert helium, Boyd said there are 4 areas in which enabling technologies have enhanced their potential to return to the military and expanded commercial services. So they say it's much like a hovercraft. So they could sit up there for quite some time, right?
Oh yeah, they can go up there for well, a while back they could stay up there for days, probably longer now.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
All right. So the Overhaven, which is the Peace Force, PAX Force is the armed services of the UNIGOV and is divided into Universal Army and Universal Navy, which in turn are divided into 10 branches, which in turn have their own specialized branches. The Airborne Corps is essentially Aircom's answer to the Infantry Corps. The branch has the Peace Force's paratroopers and drop capable vehicles, Panzerbods, and exoites, as well as flight pack equipped specialists. In addition, the Airborne Corps is tasked with garrisoning the troops on the gas giants and providing security detail at Aircom installations, effectively in serving as Marines aboard airships. The airships forms an important cornerstone of Aircom. Colossal helium-filled ships serve as flying carriers and bases for Aircom fleets of aircraft and serve as the battleships in the context of cloud colonies. And if you thought the bomber planes of 2285 were big, those birds got nothing on these blimps. The Space Fleet describes the Universal Navy's armada of space faring carriers, frigates, corvettes, destroyers, and cruisers. The Space Fleet exists primarily to combat pirates and terrorists in the void, though in recent years has seen much more of a general buildup. The Starfighter Corps, despite the name, actually spans Spacecom's fleet of fighters, heavy fighters, interceptors, long-range patrol fighters, bombers, and EVA big space mechas, basically. While some of the Starfighter Corps crafts are ATMO capable, most are not. Those which are commonly experience friction with the orbital guard in the Army Fighter Corps. The Space Marines or Space Commands infantry force tasked with boarding operations, EVA assaults, and rapid orbital insertions into support of ground forces. In addition to infantry, the Space Marines make extensive use of exoets, compact IFVs, and special Panzer bods. SM boarding parties have a thing for sonic shotguns and curiously edged and blunt weapons. Tantos and tomahawks being especially common due to the tight quarters associated with boarding a ship or a habitat. The orbital guard is tasked with guarding and defending orbital habitats, conducting search and rescue operations in orbit, anti-piracy, anti-smuggling, anti-terrorist activities, as well as assisting with private sector operators in mitigating the consent of concern Kessler debris, the Orbeez, okay, which the blue orbs, okay, everybody remembers us talking about the blue orbs. The Orbeez have ships that are as good as the space fleet, nor troops as good as the Space Marines, and so are mocked by both branches of Spacecom. Though in response, the orbital guard tends to take its time with whatever paperwork the fleet or the Marines want to get done, and are very practical about their jurisdiction. Unlike many branches of PAX-4, the grunts and officers of the orbital guard are on the same page as their bureaucrats. The OG are also responsible for providing security and rapid response counterterrorism ops for space elevators, launch loops, and sky hooks. Sky hooks is the reason why they can stay up there longer also, okay? This is the real military, folks. All right. And we're going to have more and more of this revealed. The reason why I told you a while ago, you'll notice this Nassar is full effect is because these 2 mile long ships have anywhere from 15 to 150 different kind of maneuvering ships on them. They will fill the sky in a lot of areas, and that's where they'll start feeding the hungry and helping organize the homeless off the street and things like that. That's how you'll know Nassar is in full effect. All right. It won't be because some idiot thinks that he's going to make some big financial announcement and make everybody rich. It'll be because the powers to be, not over us but with us, have decided are falling into alignment with the 26,000 years that it takes for us to go through this process we're going through right now. Okay, it can't be stopped by them, by nobody. None of it can be stopped. All right, so we got a lot to learn, right? The dirty Moors, exactly, patriots. There are many dirty Moors still about our land. Some are in my fake cabal family, absolutely. Yep, and they do eat children. Yep, we got much to do with that stuff, folks. A lot of that is going to be taken care of by this space stuff we see happening here. Tonight we're learning about. Yes, everyone on Earth will know at the same time. Exactly. It's a sky event. Yep. Yeah, no, they don't have any idea about what what we're dealing with. A lot of the ocean, a lot of these cruises people are going on, they're not even on water. They don't even know it. Okay, they are on water, but they're not really on water, right? They've just been put up in one of these ships, as above, so below, right?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. So, and this is not to scare anybody, folks. Nothing can stop what is taking place right now. Nothing. That's exactly right. I'm right here with you, Black Mountain. Excuse me. Um,
Yeah.
the 26,000 year piece is so huge, folks. When we shared the Empress on our show for the first time, it'll be a night I'll never forget. And now we're here with Rod, and we've got other chiefs that we've talked with and had and share what we share with on a regular basis. Um, other empresses as well, and we're seeing this thing grow each and every day. And look, they got a launch tower on a bed of a trailer now versus used to having to build the big radio type towers. Look at that right there. That one device that they just showed you was one of the cameras. The birds didn't even notice that ship being up there.
Right.
There's the rods of God right there. For those of you that didn't know, that's what they were dropping was the rods of God.
Yeah, those are huge.
Yeah, they are huge.
And they blend in with the clouds, right? Just all white.
Yeah.
Note that semi-buoyant airship jet airships. In this video, we cover the latest developments and the milestones that were achieved in the last year. Airships are seeing a resurgence. With the latest and more efficient propulsion technologies and lighter, more advanced materials available, new developers are taking an interest in this age-old technology. Why airships? Because they can perform the tasks that other flying machines cannot. For example, transporting wind turbine blades to remote hilly places. In the recent past, Lockheed Martin launched 82 Aerospace to develop its Z-1 airship. This is a unique triple-hull airship that is 91 meters long with a payload capacity of 20 tons. It borrows a lot of its design from the Lockheed P791, which was a tri-lobe semi-buoyant hybrid airship. Note that semi-buoyant airships get part of their lift from aerodynamic lift. Another hybrid airship, the Airlander 10, has been in and out of news in the last 10 years. They have revealed that a factory in Doncaster, UK, has been lined up to produce 24 of the gigantic vehicles every year, which will create 1,200 jobs for the city and an annual sales of £1.2 billion. On the brink of full production, the 92-meter-long Airlander 10 could be ferrying people through the skies by 2029. This includes 20 craft reserved last year by a Spanish regional airline, Air Nostrum, an unspecified number by the French ecotourism company Grandscapes, and 6 by the Highland and Islands Transport Partnership for transporting cargo and passengers throughout the Scottish Isles. In August 2024, a milestone in aviation history was achieved. A trans-provincial sequence of flights of over 1,000 kilometers was achieved by an airship, this time in China. It was the AVIC AS-700, also known as the Xiangyun class. Compared to the other airships being developed around the world, this is much smaller and is categorized as a medium-sized airship with a length of only 48 meters. It has a capacity of 9 passengers and requires only a single pilot. Being non-rigid, its propulsion system is mounted on the gondola. The propulsion system comprises of ducted fans that can be articulated by 90 degrees to give the airship stall and VTOL characteristics. As a non-rigid airship, the AS-700's envelope is a single lift gas cell manufactured from a multi-layer fabric film laminate composite material that provides the needed strength, low helium leak rate, care, and weather resistance. The AVIC AS-700's development is part of China's low-altitude economy drive. The Civil Aviation Administration of China issued a type certificate for the AS-700, making it the first manned airship in China to be domestically developed and certified. Several successful flights of this airship have already been conducted, and AVIC estimates that there is a market demand for 100 airships of this type over the next 10 years, having received orders of over 10 airships with delivery of one already made to a client in South China. The initial use of the AS-700 will be for low-altitude sightseeing and tourism, just like the Zeppelin NT flights in Germany during summers. There are plans to expand the airship's services to emergency rescue, urban public services, and other fields. It's also likely that this airship might become the yacht of the skies for Chinese millionaires. In the US, the largest airship in the world, the Pathfinder 1, is being developed by LTA Research. This project is bankrolled by Google billionaire Sergey Brin. The Pathfinder 1 is 124.5 meters long, and this makes it longer than 3 Boeing 737s. A huge moment for this mammoth aircraft came on the 24th of October 2024 when it completed the first outdoor untethered flight. Rigid airships had gone into oblivion after the infamous Hindenburg crash almost 100 years ago. The Pathfinder 1 has revived this class of airships, but this time with helium as lifting gas and by using modern materials. The outer covering is flame retardant and made of multiple layers of synthetic material. As a safety measure, LiDAR sensors constantly monitor the helium in the gas cells. If there's a volume change, the LiDAR helps indicate if it's due to the changes in elevation or temperature or caused by a significant gas leak. 12 electric motors lining the sides and tail of the airship can be rotated 180 degrees for vertical takeoff and directional control. From its appearance, the Pathfinder 1 looks more like a spaceship than an airship. The Pathfinder 1 has a unique staggered arrangement of its propulsors. Unlike in the past when airship propellers used to be inline, it was found that the staggered configuration is more efficient and gives more control. The X configuration tail fins are also the choice for modern airships compared to the plus tail fins of the past. It also helps to prevent the tail damage when airship floats up and down when they are attached to the mooring mast. There are other developments too that can eliminate the need for any ground crew for the airship mooring. The suction landing system is one such feature that is being explored. The air cushion landing system will also allow the airship to hover and move on land. Aviation is an industry desperately looking for decarbonization solutions, and airship can be a huge part of that solution. And with this, the video is concluded. If you learned something from it, then please do give it a thumbs up. Thank you for your attention.
I was waiting for him to say, Johnny Five is alive.
Right.
Johnny Five is alive.
Yeah, these things hold your flying cars. You'll see flying saucers come out of these things when they start to show them off. Folks, you'll see all kinds of stuff coming out of these things. The ones he just showed you now were the economical ones that don't go as high up as the ones that we started showing you in the beginning. And the reason for those is because they're going to be made more use into a daily use type transportation. You heard the decarbonization process was very important, right? And in the pole shift, decarbonization is huge in Mother Gaia healing and growing. Okay. And this is really, really good reads, folks. We'll make sure you got the links to them all. The biggest thing I want you to know is you don't have to fear. There is nothing that can stop what's already started taking place. Okay? We can want it to end a lot sooner than it's going to end, whenever that's going to be, for sure. But I'm here to let you know that this process is good for humanity as long as we come together into collective consciousness. Okay, and we are. Yeah, Tesla electric vehicles, all that's going to go. Tesla's already on its way out. They're burning them things up left and right every day.
Yeah, I think they're burning themselves up, from what I
Yeah,
understand. We
right.
had two doctors here in Houston that died in a Tesla crash, and they burnt alive in the car.
Uh,
Of course, right after COVID, right? Or during
oh
COVID,
yeah,
those doctors,
Yep.
they ended up dead because you can hack them, I think, and drive them off into shit.
yeah. They're open sourced. Yes.
Yeah. So they murdered. Well, they accidentally hit a tree and burn up in them. So. But here's the. I guess we can move on a little bit. We got the people were calling out how fake this looks over here to the right, with the NASA astronauts returning to Earth, right? But if you look over here to the left, I got, if you can see this aircraft carrier, see that water? You got it now? How about now? Let me see, bro. You got it? See it?
The plane.
I see the orange tiger painted plane. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's watch it. I want y'all to tell me what you see. See that water rippling?
Yep.
Yeah, it was on the aircraft carrier. It's making its turn. All right. Oh, there goes mine. It's getting kind of blurry here, it looks like. All right. Most of the people that have been on an aircraft carrier, they know that this point of view is impossible and that this is a simulation. It's not real. Right.
Look
But
how
it looks
real that looked. Yeah.
Look at that. See the water? See that? So you want to know how they could fake NASA? How NASA can fake? This is just a video game right here.
Yeah, that's wild as shit. Yep. That is wild as shit.
Yeah, these are just the video games. So then you get over here, this, and you see this shit, and you go, wow. And keep in mind, they have advanced technology. They can make this look as real as hell. Get a splashdown. What is this? Just like, what was that show in the 70s? I Dream of Jeannie. Why is it 2025 doing I Dream of Jeannie still? Can anybody tell me that? Why are we stuck in, why are we frozen in technology and time of how a capsule returns via parachute into the water? Even Elon's shit looks fake to me as well, but those rockets are flying in backwards and landing right back where they took off. Right? Here we are with the I Dream of Jeannie shit still playing out. And you can see how this looks as well. I just showed you a flight simulation video game. Same thing here. Right? See that?
That's all a simulation too.
See the water? Yeah. See it? How it's just like a computer?
Yeah. That's crazy.
And people believe this shit. But I just showed you a flight simulator, how real it looks versus what Fox put on the news. Atlanta, RSBN, all of them. Watch this fake shit. The serpent, never a straight answer. The split tongue, serpent. See how fake this looks? The water. Yeah, I know. So this is the serpent's tongue split. NASA. Sorry, I don't know why I said Nazi. It meant NASA. Who's flying this? Is a drone flying around capturing this scene, or what's going on here? How are they able to move around like this and get this shot? But you can see the fake. And this capsule doesn't look like the one they brought in. The other one looks more brown, like it's been sitting in the water forever. But you see the computer generated ripples.
Like rusty.
All right. All right, we're done with that. Everybody knows the moon landing was fake. Here is the USAD scam, explained in 3 minutes. Thought this would be a little funny.
I don't really understand this whole USAID or USAID thing.
It can be difficult. Luckily for you, I can explain it.
Okay.
See here, you're what's called a taxpayer, and I am the government.
Okay.
May I have some tax money, please?
Sure.
Great.
Here you are.
This is the price you pay for a civilized society. So you give that $20 to me, the government. This is an NGO,
Okay.
a non-government organization. And this is an American small business.
Okay.
Okay, now out of that $20 you give to me, $10 I need to keep because, I've got to keep the lights on.
Sure.
And $10 goes to the NGO.
Okay.
This one's called Rochambeau for World Peace. You see that small business owner right there?
Yes.
I'm going to need you to mostly peacefully kick him in the balls.
What, is that serious?
You want that money? Yeah. Get a kick it.
All right.
Ooh, but why don't I get anything?
You don't get anything. Very good. You see him right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, take that money from him. Excellent. Thank you for your taxes. Your contributions are well noted. May I?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's called a kickback. Now, this mouthy little terrorist over here that doesn't understand that free speech has limitations,
Yeah.
What?
he needs a kick in the nuts.
No,
Get a
I
kick
don't
in-
think that's...
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Now, you see,
I heard it shatter.
if the government did that, that would be unethical. Maybe even illegal.
Why?
But a non-government organization
Why?
can kick as many Americans in the nuts as they want. And the best part is, the Americans will pay for it. Do you like getting kicked in the nuts, friend? Would you like it to stop?
Yes.
I'm going to need some more money, please.
I don't have more money.
Oh, he doesn't have more money. This is called an audit.
What? No. Oh God.
Oh,
Oh God. Oh God.
oh, that looks painful. That's okay. Yep. He's going to have to pick himself up by the bootstraps. 40% of Somalia's GDP is our money that we give to them. So, do you care about the Somalians, good sir?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, have some more money, please.
Oh, I think you guys to the NGO took all of it.
You know what that means? He needs an audit.
Please.
And this is how your government and non-government organizations
Please.
make the world a better place.
Please
I'm going to
don't.
need that money in the form of a donation. Thank you very much. See? Everybody's happy.
Taxpayers and the small businesses.
So the government got it all at the end, didn't he, from all of them?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
All right, we did this one. Yep. All right. I'll do that later. So we have the Canadian snowbirds are canceling their Florida trips. So if you're down in Florida and you wonder why the beaches are empty, it's because of the tariff war taking place. You didn't have too many snowbirds coming down this year, did you? It's because they're selling their shit off. They're offloading their properties. They don't want nothing to do with it no more. This is what happens. So this is going to affect small businesses locally, right? People that depend on there's the small businesses that depend on the tourism to make it through. So for years, Canadians are seeking a warm respite from the cold winter weather. They have flocked to Florida shores, buying up apartments and homes and relocating to its tropical locales for at least half of the year. Canadians make up about 13% of all foreign buyers in the United States, with a market size of $5.6 billion, according to a 2024 report from the National Association of Realtors, because this is from realtor.com. And amongst those buyers, Florida is the most popular destination, with around about 41% of all Canadian buyers purchasing property in the state. But President Donald Trump's recent sweeping tariffs have prompted some Canadians to reconsider their snowbird habits, and an increasing number are attempting to offload their U.S. real estate holdings, with the normally strong relationship between the two countries soaring. But not only have Canadians been electing to divest from their vacation homes and investment properties in Florida, they have also been canceling their trips to the area, which is having a negative impact on our vacation rental market, says Robert Washington of Savvy Buyers Realty in St. Petersburg, Florida. We have heard from several of our vacation rental owners that they have experienced multiple cancellations from Canadian guests due to the tariff battle. Hopefully the tariff situation is resolved soon, or it could have a lasting impact on our tourism industry. Things that take a turn with tariffs. Since returning to office in January, Trump has imposed 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico, along with an additional 10% tariff on China. But no tariffs on Israel? Oh, well, they can't tariff Israel because Israel doesn't provide us with anything. In mid-March, Trump announced the U.S. would enforce a law requiring foreign nationals who stay in the U.S. for longer than 30 days, which includes many Canadians who winter in Florida and own property there, to register with authorities. Trump's actions come to an already challenging time for Canadian holders of U.S. real estate. Over the past year, the Canadian dollar lost 8% of value against the U.S. dollar, while the cost of insurance has skyrocketed thanks to increasing extreme weather events, like we see down in Florida with the hurricanes and tornadoes. As a result, many Canadians are reconsidering their real estate investments in the U.S. The move away from Florida also reflects a generational shift. Sylvian DuPont, a realtor in Boca Raton, Florida, told Canadian mortgage professional in January.
Yes, Boca Raton.
Oh, is that how they say it?
Yeah.
Boca Raton.
Boca Raton. That place is on fire, but ain't on fire.
Oh, shit. So younger couples or people they want to travel, they'll spend a winter in Portugal, or they'll go to Miami, or they'll go to Mexico, or they'll go to the Dominican Republic, DuPont said. Buying a place in Florida is like our grandparents and our parents used to do. The youngsters, they don't do so much anymore. Around 3.3 million Canadians visited Florida in 2024, according to the state's tourism industry association, and even a 10% reduction in Canadian travel to the U.S. could result in a $2.1 billion in lost spending and 14,000 job losses. Among those Canadian visitors is Dorothy Chabot and her husband, who told the CBC News that they were not returning to Florida despite traveling to the Sunshine State for 15 years. They previously owned a condo in Port Charlotte and then started renting at a 55-plus community southwest of Orlando. We decided that at the end of February, we were not going to sign our lease again. We were going to give it up, and we were going to stay in Canada and be very supportive of our country, she told the CBC. Julie Gearstein is a writer and an editor based in Philadelphia. She previously worked at a Business Insider as an executive editor covering news, entertainment, and digital culture, and was the company's founding Singapore bureau chief. She was also a senior editor at BuzzFeed, covering lifestyle, fashion, and beauty. She earned a BA in women's studies from the University of Pennsylvania and an MA in media and culture studies from the University of Sussex. So, yeah. And I've, a lot of the locals there and people that make YouTube videos have been touring. They went to all the beaches, and normally they wouldn't be able to find parking during spring break, and they found parking, and the beaches weren't that crowded at all. So that has a negative impact on the local economy, right? Here in Houston, we have high-tech drones deployed in Harris County for law enforcement. Remember all those drones that we kept seeing? All of a sudden, everybody knows y'all don't see the drones anymore? Or did the media stop psyoping you into being scared of drones? You notice how that story just went away? Nobody's talking about the drones anymore or even sees any?
Right.
Right?
Yep.
I guess they're too focused on the Teslas now burning up.
Right.
The next. But we have high-tech drones here deployed in Harris County for law enforcement. What they've been doing this, guys. They've been doing this. I've been seeing them. So with the 5 new drones, the Precinct 4 Constable's Office hopes to enhance its ability to track down suspects and find missing people. Man, maybe some people don't want to be found. Harris County, Texas, you may soon see them flying overhead. And the Harris County Precinct 4 Constable has introduced 5 new drones to assist in law enforcement operations and missing person cases on Thursday. KHOU got a firsthand look at the fleet. I don't think they're looking for missing persons, folks, because there's 7,500 children that go missing in my county, Harris County, a year, and nobody's using drones to look for them. While Constable Mark Herman's office is not the first area law enforcement agency to employ drones, Precinct 4 Assistant Chief Toby Hecker stressed that their drones would be on the front lines and carried in deputies' vehicles, ready to be used at any time and even on patrol. They've already have them in their vehicles. They've already been using them. Quite often, they will be the first on the scene, Heckler said. A K-9 may be 15 to 20 minutes away. A helicopter may be about 15 to 20 minutes away, but the drones are ready at a moment's notice. And that took place here locally. We had an incident take place locally where the law enforcement SWAT team had to show up and the drones were there first. Ain't that crazy? So Hecker said the drones would bridge a gap, allowing for a faster and more efficient response. Now, here's another thing. They hover above your house and get your, they could tap your phone, get all your information, all that stuff from your Wi-Fi without a warrant. So this is a constitutional violation. This is a violation of the Constitution right. It's being taken place. So in the past few months, nearly 30 deputies have been trained and obtained the FAA license required to fly drones. According to the constable's office, those deputies will work across all shifts and patrol all districts. You can see them right here. Somebody just fall out.
I heard something.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. I got booted. I'm back.
You come back faster.
Yeah, I thought I heard something. Yeah.
So I don't see anything wrong with this. If you're using it for good, but I know how these people operate and they don't go by the Constitution and they're violating your constitutional rights daily. So this could be a hell of a battle right here with privacy and stuff like that. Precinct 4's drones are equipped with high-resolution cameras capable of 56 zoom, thermal, and infrared imaging for nighttime operations and a 9-mile operational range. They can stay airborne for up to 3 hours. Holy shit. The drones that we get at the store only stay up for like 20 or 30 minutes. They're sitting up there so they can hover above your house or wherever for 3 hours.
Mine can stay up for an hour and 10 minutes.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. The one I got, the DJI 3, it was 20 something minutes. And I felt when I first flew it, it felt weird because I was hovering around I went to a park to fly it. And I was hovering around and I got above somebody's house and in my being, I felt like, man, this is an invasion of privacy. I shouldn't be able to hover above somebody's house and them not even know I'm hovering there watching everything on their property. But that's what is taking place. So just like on the movie They Live, these drones have been out for a long time. They're just now.
You got to think about March being kite flying month too because of the wind. In March, right? In a lot of areas. How many kites went up with cameras on them, right?
Yep.
course, you didn't have control like you do with a drone, but there's still, we had the option to put cameras on the kites, some of the kites we flew. So it's been doing this for a long time. And I'm not saying it's right to invade somebody's privacy like that, but that's what they're doing with it, for sure. You know, but they are fun little toys. Just don't get yourself in trouble with them, right?
Yeah, if they're ever going to find missing persons with this drones and what's holding them up, because I know they've had them for a few years now in their cars, flying them around.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's bullshit. All right. Did we cover this yet?
Oh,
we
Yeah.
covered. You got two butt cheeks wide
You
open.
covered the uncovered.
Somebody needs to cover this cheek and that cheek. Is it?
the Texas, the
what, Mike?
Happy Wednesday afternoon, everybody. Are you tired of paying for that certified mail, priority mail, registered mail? Well, I found this today while digging through the authentication process. And this stamp right here will allow you to mail all that for free. Yes, there is one caveat. You have to use the blue bin at
which
the post
stamp is
office.
that?
Take it to the counter. They will charge you. So take it and drop it off at the blue.
The what?
Which stamp is that? It
It's
went silent on us.
let's see, first class US, 18 USC 1726.
1726. Okay.
All right.
We need to add that to our notes.
Yeah, I posted it.
Happy Wednesday afternoon, everybody. Are you tired of paying for that certified mail, priority mail, registered mail? Well, I found this today while digging through the authentication process. And this stamp right here will allow you to mail all that for free. Yes, there is one caveat. You have to use the blue bin at the post office. You cannot take it to the counter. They will charge you. So take it and drop it off at the blue bin at the post office. That's for the postal service. And this stamp right here is free for anything that you send through the postal service. You're welcome. Have a great Wednesday evening. I hope you guys have a great week. I will talk to you later.
Oh, there's that damn logo. It goes in the blue. Yeah, it goes in the blue bin at the post office, sheepdog. Otherwise, they'll charge you for a lap dance.
This is what I look like after going down a water slide at Waterworld.
Oh my gosh.
Sheepdog said he gets up and he's selling Teslas.
Right. I think he stole it from that moment.
Right.
Here we go. This is something I explained, and this ain't no attack on anybody, or anybody personally. But if you have 12 bad cops and 1,300 good cops, right? But the 1,300 good cops don't turn in the 12 bad cops, then you have 12 bad cops, right? And this is what I was saying.
Yep.
You got to hold these people accountable within your own ranks, but you won't do it. Why is that? How come you ain't turning them in?
Watch the water, sheepdog.
Yeah, they're getting busted every day.
Right.
I've lost track of how many that I found over the last few days that have been caught with child porn and et cetera, you know.
Right.
But here's the Department of Education has just been dismantled, right? According to the executive order, which isn't, it's just when we look back at COVID and we go, well, and I see a bunch of, you know, classroom pictures, you know, the schoolroom pictures at the end of the year or during where the kids get together and they do all their the class photos, but the class photos during COVID, everybody had a mask on. So they had your kids in masks because they were getting money on under the table. Well, not really under the table, but they got a cut. Mask your kids up during COVID. A scam. And we have...
Who did the colonists fight in the Revolutionary War?
So they're being asked questions about history, right? And they have no clue. Listen, this is your Department of Education right here.
Colonists fight in the Revolutionary War?
In the Revolutionary War?
It was, I don't know if this is right. I mean, it sounds so stupid. Was it the Spanish? Wait, what are your majors?
Business? Biology.
Okay. Elementary education. Oh. What shape is the U.S. Pentagon building?
Isn't it just a square?
How many U.S. senators are there?
Six.
How many amendments are in the Bill of Rights?
There's a lot. I know 17.
Who won the Civil War?
Oh shoot, it's East or West, right?
Well, it's the Civil War, so it's the civilians versus whoever was in power.
Yeah, it's the East versus the West, right? I think that was me and you thought. Sorry, guys. That wasn't the Civil War.
It's the Civil War, so it's the civilians versus whoever was in power. How many justices are on the Supreme Court?
Justices. So like when you say that, like you mean like the FBI?
Who was on the $100 bill?
Oh, why not? Abraham Lincoln.
Nope.
Come on, guys. Is this a joke, right?
Abraham Lincoln. Come on, bro.
That's the First Amendment. What's the second?
Right to vote.
Name three.
The Second Amendment is the right to vote, folks. Did y'all hear that shit? The Second Amendment.
Wow.
Right to vote.
Name three.
Hold on.
That's okay. Somebody in the audience said on a $100 bill.
That's the First Amendment. What's the second?
Right to vote.
Name three states that border Canada. We'll just do one per person.
Asia.
I didn't know Canada had a border.
They didn't know Canada
Who
had a
did the
border.
colon?
They didn't know Canada had a border.
Well, it doesn't really, but
This is crazy.
it's got a little post there.
Literally. A little fence post.
That's it.
But the Second Amendment gives us the right to vote. So you see where the education has been slacking and why we're in this position? Right.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're college students by now, right? This is a little clip from the movie called The Network that was done in 1976, and it covers the mainstream media basically and their lies. And this goes all the way back, but I thought this was relevant. It's still relevant. But here it is. They tell you to your face. It's just a circus. Let me play this. It's entertaining.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So your mainstream media, military industrial arm of the deep state, ABC, NBC, Fox, CNN, and you name it. It's all bullshit. So that movie is called The Network. It's got Faye Dunaway, Peter Finch. They won Oscars for their remarkable roles in penetrating expose of the nature of power and electronic journalism. Y'all remember that? I'm mad as hell. That scene.
Yep. That was the same guy, right?
Yeah. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore. I think that's where we're getting. All right. Let's see if this plays. Have y'all ever seen Democrats and Republicans show up to the same place to protest?
Nope.
Maybe. Well, they're doing that over Tesla right now. They got one side of the people on one side of the street, Democrats, and on this other side they got Republicans. And one's boycotting Tesla and one's supporting Tesla. It's a shit show. It's really ridiculous. All right, so we showed that. Let me pull these out.
What did it say about your Canada statement?
About what?
Your Canada
This?
statement? Yeah.
Bye.
The old.
So here we got Trump, instead of talking about people going to jail for, trafficking humans and children, and et cetera, from the Maxwell, Epstein, Diddy list, he's worried about giving people 20-year jail sentences for keying car Teslas. When you protect governments and pedophiles for quote unquote national security.
They're crazy.
When I'm forced to pay 1/3 of my household income to a corrupt government that literally prints money out of thin air and openly protects a network of child rapists. We're coming with the heat tonight. You ain't taking none. But Pam Bondi says we're safer tonight, though. Not our kids, but somebody's safer because they deported a few hundred people.
All right, guys. Y'all, I'm gonna let y'all keep going. I'm gonna jump off. I can hardly keep going. I'm just out of energy.
Okay, Mike.
I love you
Some
guys.
rest.
Thanks so much.
Cool. All right,
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. How much time we in right now? Where we at?
It is 8:00. Our time.
Okay, 1:37.
Yeah, 30 more minutes.
We were talking about the bots on Twitter. This is a bot. MAGA Voice is a bot that gets people to think that everybody's on board when they're not, for the most part.
Yeah, there's a lot of
two
those.
best friends. Yeah, I found this one. It says just two best friends trying to save America, and then down here it says from Doge designer. It's a bot. You want to read a couple of these things that you posted, the cosmic test? Huh?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Oh, got it. Which one do you want me to read? Take off rosy colored glasses? That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. And the one before that's.
All right. Yeah, I got a lot of shit. A lot of stuff right here. Let's go down. So we showed that. We showed that. This is, it's spring equinox right now. This is center. Sun is right here right now, right down the center. Spring. New Year. Happy New Year, guys. You see the new growth, the new life? That's the new year. It's not in the middle, right before winter starts.
No.
I want to read you the original Lord's Prayer from the Bible, which is insane to read because this is the direct Aramaic translation that they didn't tell us. And it's beautiful. O cosmic birther of all radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our bodies and carve out a space within us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear the fruit of your mission. Let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with our desires. Endow us with the wisdom to produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which would divert us from our true purpose, that illuminate the opportunities of our present moment. For you are the ground, the truthful mission, the birth, the power, and fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole again. And so it is. That is not the same prayer. You can find that prayer at the link in my bio. I do this every morning and it fills me up with light. That's not the same religion. Listen to those words and what feeling they're asking you to embody. It's pure power.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff here. I'm not going to be able to cover all this stuff. Just want to make sure I'm not. I'm going to go down and read that. Yeah, okay, this stuff I'll cover tomorrow. Again, this is British TV program from 1968, revealed our stage scripted reality. It even talks about NASA and all that stuff. I played it before here on the show. Let me go down and read this rosy colored glasses. All right, that's the golden rule. Let me go down and read this real quick. Where's it at? All right. All right, take off the rosy colored glasses. We can have a better world instead of the suffering that is manifesting. Facing the negatives in the world enables us to understand how and why we are co-creating this condition. Some of the hardest darkness to face is within ourselves. It is required to know thyself and to gain self-knowledge, self-awakening, self-realization, self-awareness, self-dominion, and self-control to stop doing what we shouldn't be doing. This requires looking back at ourselves in self-respect, self-reflection, and self-analysis. We must face ourselves in the mirror in honesty and self-respect without fear of looking at the beauty and the horror, the light and the dark, the good and the bad within us and in the world around us. Looking at the shadow, demon, dark, negative side of ourselves and the world can be hard to confront. Truth can be difficult to hear or accept. Truth can be uncomfortable and undesirable to know. Rosy colored glasses prevents an accurate perception of the world and ourselves. They prevent us from seeing the things that are not helping us, that are keeping us in chains and self-inflicted suffering in the aggregate. This avoidance and denial of reality and truth is based in fear. Rosy colored glasses are a symptom of a consciousness that has not developed the recognition of the importance of truth to make our lives better. We want to believe we are good. We lie and tell ourselves that what we are doing is fine in order to make ourselves feel good about our choices and behaviors. We dismiss, deflect, diminish, and deny truths that we don't want to face, that make us feel uncomfortable, or that make us feel bad about what we're doing. It's a lot easier to ignore the hard truths than to face them, let alone accept them and align ourselves with a truer, realer, and higher potential way of being. All right, let's go to our scripted reality. I played this before. I also posted this whole sitcom. It was about an hour long. It's even better than what's provided. But this is a breakdown from the Book of Life on YouTube. In your scripted All right, 1968, the BBC, which is what? 322 in reverse, Skull and Bones?
Yep.
B equals 2, B equals 2, C equals 3. Flip that, you got 322, Skull and Bones. BBC. So in 1968, the BBC broadcast, they live theater play, The Newsbenders is what it's called. You go look up The Newsbenders on YouTube, you'll get the whole sitcom, which involved a clandestine news agency looking to recruit a hotshot film director to plan the news for the year of 1973. So all the shit you're seeing right now has just been planned. To the casual viewer, this program was simply a curious dystopian story that provided food for thought. However, to the discerning truth seeker, it was a classic example of revelation of the method or truth in plain sight. From fake news stories to social engineering to bio-tracking, this fascinating program perhaps revealed more than it intended. Here's a breakdown of some of the truths it revealed. Transhumanism, biotracking, this is what we're dealing with today, right? Such as the pharmakia from 2020 to 2021, and voice monitoring electronic devices. This was in 1968.
I'm sorry, the language must seem rather strange at first, but we take it very seriously. Just to show you how seriously, I'm going to tell you how we checked up on you. We call these things surgical transmitters. One was fitted inside you when you went into the Charing Cross Hospital 3 years ago. Appendix, wasn't it?
Transmitter? Are you trying to tell me that you listen to every word I say?
A machine does. Untouched by human hand. There's a little gadget in these things that ties up with the pulse rate. Puts a bleep onto anything that you're excited about.
If you look at those Apple rings now that they have, that monitoring your pulse and all that stuff, what else is it doing?
Right.
Pre-planned scripted news.
There's a vacancy in our newsreel department. We'd like you to help plan the news for 1973.
Come again?
Plan the news for 1973.
Green screen, outer space, and soundstage sets.
We've only roughed out the news for 1973.
Here's NASA.
Today, April 14, 1973. First historic pictures by Radstar of the combined U.S.-Russian landing on the moon. Shown here are Majors Webb and Mikhailovich taking their first steps into the unknown, firing their retro rockets to land their spacecraft on the dust-covered surface. A comforting note for us stay-at-homes, both the Pentagon and the Kremlin have announced that the moon has no strategic value.
So-called weapons of mass destruction.
I can't show you any film on this next model. We haven't photographed it yet. But this is the way it will sound.
June the 22nd, 1973. The State Department releases film of the ultimate weapon, codenamed Icarus, This satellite is equipped with a solid reactor. In layman's terms, it can freeze air solid, stopping all missiles, killing all forms of life.
Fake news and how all the world is a stage. How many times Trump said fake news?
September the 5th, 1973. The new phase in global warfare. War by example. At 4:32 our time, China took out the remote Indian border village of Bandor, unprotected by the Icarus network. After the first 2 5-megaton H-bombs had fallen, the 9-way hotline finally...
Switch it off. This is going to happen in 1973. You're going to make this happen?
No. We're going to make models, much cheaper. Then we photograph the models.
Fake news reels?
Fake news reels. For the past 10 years, people have been looking at our fake news reels and listening to our fake commentaries.
And they accept it for the truth?
Yep.
And you can do it. Stop 100 people in the street. How many of them have actually seen a missile or a satellite? They're just told they exist and they believe it.
Yeah, you're getting there. I knew you would.
International security scare tactics and simulated outer space.
Tell me, what is the news item that's bothered you the most in the past year, 1967?
Well, it has to be the new American intercontinental ballistic missile, the bomb.
Just what I asked him to set up for you. The new ICBM, codename Boy Wonder, with a much talked about Mercury warhead. I haven't any special effects up here, but perhaps with the proper sound. Blast off. And Robert Larkin, television director, high IQ, 35 years old, is scared. Scared by nothing. It doesn't work. It's a scientific impossibility. The same goes for the much talked about Mercury warhead. Perspex.
Well, if this rocket doesn't work, then the others?
They have a fireworks party at Cape Kennedy almost every other day. Well, you didn't really believe there were all these things whizzing about up there, did you? Sputniks and rockets. Astronauts crossing their legs for 8 days.
When the worldwide disinformation campaign gained traction and how so-called warring nations are actually working together. They're all friends.
When did it all start?
1945. You may remember the Americans let off their 2 atomic bombs. Well, they didn't want other people doing the same thing. I mean, you do see that, don't you?
Oh, I don't.
Scare the people off. The Americans put it up, and the atomic bomb was halfway along the line to something much bigger, the hydrogen bomb. It didn't work. They spent 5 years in negative research.
What about the Russians? They're supposed to have quite a pile of these things.
We were surprised when they started their tests. Then we got a few feelers from their Secret Service. Nowadays, we work very closely together. Oh, all these stories about spies going off to Russia. Mr. Philby, remember? Just good copy for the Sunday papers.
Good copy. Well, the Chinese. I mean, they've just announced their bomb.
Yeah, we played along with it. We recorded their phony explosion. We're rather hoping the Chinese will come along, complete the pattern, you know.
In Vietnam, hundreds of people are being killed every week. Well, you can't do that with your models.
No. And you can't kill people of bad habits in 2 generations. They like to carry rifles. They like to put lines on maps. And we let them because we control the situation. There's no danger of world war. Just a simple choice for everybody. Capitalism or communism. Strawberry or vanilla. It all adds up to the same thing now we've got rid of the big bangers.
Social engineering, programming, including orchestrating the hippie movement in the 60s in order to quell political dissidents.
I've only shown you the hard news. There are other things, much softer things we thought might interest you. Well, 1973, we thought it might be time for an anti-teenage movement. A long-awaited return to maturity. Sure. Perhaps even a religious revival. The love for the idea of love. They only hate for the idea of hate. It took us 5 years to find a non-addictive drug, one we could pay off against the hard drugs. LSD.
You marketed that?
Oh, yes, of course. And for a very good reason. Some of these protest movements were getting a little bit too close to the mark. LSD gave them nice little hallucinations. Made them talk like 3-year-olds. Throw flowers at policemen.
Political puppets and world dominance.
But how can you be sure that Johnson, Kosygin aren't working on other things? Poison gases, bacteria.
Pathetic, man of your intelligence. You don't want to destroy the world, neither do I. What makes you think that presidents are different?
Well, they've made some pretty good stabs at it in the past.
It wasn't the right sort of control then. Nowadays we know better. Politicians are easy to control. The grosser mentality boys who like to be photographed getting in and out of Daimlers and Whitehall. They come right at the bottom of our organization. A few rungs up the ladder, there are the people in the top secret factories. Just those in a position to know they're making weapons that don't really work.
But there must come a time when somebody wants to use one of those weapons. I mean, somebody is standing there with a finger on the button.
Well, that's the beauty of it. Nobody presses the button. We control all the crises. We build them up and we shut them down.
They control all the crises. The World War III narrative is bullshit. Right? Public ignorance and in controlling, distracting, and sedating the masses.
.386% of the population wouldn't believe this conversation, and the rest are working for us. And that, you must admit, there has to be some kind of control in this world of ours. Look at that. And remember that 1/4 of the world is starving. There are the full bellies and the empty bellies. Some of the empty bellies carry rifles. Well, we full bellies are getting a bit flabby. We're not very good with rifles anymore, so we've devised 2 ways to keep the empty bellies under control. One of them is this fictitious hydrogen bomb we've talked about. The other one is money. Enough money to fill some of the empty bellies and put a hopeful smile on the faces of the others. A great wall of money all around Britain. And it's no secret that the British economy is in trouble at the moment. So we have to put that right too. To stay alive, we have to control the people in this country. Scare an ostrich, buries its head in the sand. You scare a hedgehog, it rolls itself up into a ball. When a woman's frightened, she goes out and buys herself a hat.
You mean you scare us so that we'll buy more, so that money moves quicker, production moves up?
We don't say scare when we talk about human beings. We say...
So what are the situations where they scare you and everybody runs out and buys stuff? Hurricanes, right? Different things like that. Situations, prepare for this, prepare for that. And then they make all the money because they own all the stores.
Threaten them emotionally. And there are all sorts of ways of doing, not just the big ones like the hydrogen bomb. Overcrowd them a little with bad planning. Sell them too many motor cars. Anything to keep them a little bit removed from reality.
Artificial intelligence and super quantum computers.
Most people realize that the world is controlled from about 6 big cities. But it must be rather shocking to learn that 1/6 of the world is controlled from this building.
You mean you?
Oh, no. I only rate an office on the 7th floor. There are 2 other offices above this one. And a giant computer system. Link number 4 in world control.
A computer?
And what's so remarkable about that? It's just a machine that can store a vast amount of information.
A machine that knows too bloody much.
Now you're being hysterical about it. The computer's very simple. You feed data into it. Anything from the Wall Street closing prices to the North Atlantic weather.
And you get decisions. That machine's taken you over.
It's just a machine. Extra hands for the people who know how to control it. There's a button we can press. I'm sorry about the dramatics. Our boys call these things the oral contraceptive. Keeps them from talking too much.
So there must be one of those transmitters inside you. Who presses the button? Extra hands. All this stuff about the computer being extra hands for the men who know how to control it. That machine controls you.
Unsurprisingly, the protagonist is called Robert, which just so happens to be a common 33 Mason name in Pythagorean numerology. Also note the Mason ball, Earth in the background, the globe Earth.
What do we know about you? Larkin. Robert Santor.
Yes, it's a family man.
Good family. And above them, CWNS.
Right at the top. Classified World News Service.
See that? It's almost like a Charlie Ward, CW.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. Mason.
You take that W, turn it sideways, you get the 3W and the M and the echo. Revelations 27-8 portion. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan will be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to deceive the nations that are in the four quarters of the earth. That's where we're at right now. Satan's little season, right?
Yep.
Because 1,000 years already happened, which was the second coming. It's a little season. That's all I got for tonight. We'll go ahead and end it right here. We're 2 hours in, so hope everybody had a good weekend. Look forward to the rest of the week. Stay positive. Keep doing what you need to do to prepare yourself and your family for what's coming. Nothing to be in fear of, but just to separate yourself from the system as much as you possibly can. Also, gardening helps with stress and keeps your mind focused. Not just gardening, but other things as well.
Yeah, just get outside.
Yep. An idle mind is the devil's playground, right?
That's right.
So stay positive, stay focused, and love thy neighbor like you love yourself. Quit hating everybody because the TV told you to, or your party told you to, or some politician told you to. Because it's all bullshit, circus. And as long as they keep us divided, they stay united, we'll never get anywhere. But first and foremost, save yourself and save your family. The most important part is waking up with Folgers in your cup.
Right.
But that's all I got to say about that. But we're going to go ahead and end it right here. Y'all have a good night.
Good night,
you got
everyone.
anything?
Nope, that's it. That was good.
Good night, guys.
Good night.